What's up, champions? It's me, Kasta, and you've been voting for my very first YouTube series about Challenge Mode Gold and Mists of Pandaria. This time, we will see my tanking POV in the dungeon Temple of the Jade Serpent. I hope you guys enjoy it. As a disclaimer, this footage has been recorded on a private server. Things may be different on a live server. Alright, and here we are. As you can see, I'm on the brewmaster. Then we have our boy Blind on his Dispriest. We have Deepshades on his Ele Sham, and we have Darius on his Survival Hunter, and our boy Mavie on his Frost Mage. Before we start the dungeon, you can see that I am the leader. As a tank, you usually want to have a leadership so you can reset whenever. I always use 2 chi brews right before we start the dungeon, so once we encounter our first mob or our first boss, I'm halfway through with chi already. The reason is you really want to use elusive stacks on your first encounter already. Alright, so what we do here is we just nitro and just go through. I pull everything with Rushing Jade Wind. My team is straight behind me. And I'm using my statue because your statue, whenever you use it, it scales with vengeance, and the more vengeance you have, the higher the absorb on your party members. Make sure to put it inside this room. Alright, so I will pull those mobs here. I'm using Russian Jade when my team is standing on the top left corner. As you can see, if you're standing further away from the boss, you're getting attacked. So in that case, make sure to stay closer to the boss is really important. Alright, so on this one, like I said, I keep up Rushing Jade Wind. I didn't shuffle yet. We just pretty much kill these ads here. And it's always important to focus that new alley that spawns, because you have to kill 4 in order to attack the boss. So what we will do is I just go over, I taunted it, and we make sure that we focus this mob first, the corrupted living water thingy. On this one I use diffuse magic to gain some vengeance. We almost got 100k vengeance, it's quite fun. And what we usually do if we have a frost mage in the group, you do not kill those ads. If you keep the droplets alive and you encounter the boss with bloodlust, the frost mage will kiss you because he can benefit out of it with frozen orb. Alright, so this is the second one to our left to be able to attack the boss. This one I make sure to not use Rushing Jade Wind that often, so we keep the droplets alive. So we have the third one now. I taunted it so it's running faster. Sometimes you can also clash it, it depends. Alright, so number 3 is down. I disengage them so they're running slower. Alright, so this is the fourth one. I do it here so I get a bit of a vengeance, but as you can see it's quite low, so it's not really recommended to do that if you just want to get vengeance. So the boss is alive. We pop our bloodlust usually on pull. I think our team forgot to use it on pull. So he's using frozen orb. No, we got the time warp. He's using frozen orb and got all the procs with finger frost. So boss is dead. I keep up my elusive stacks for the next pack. Now we get a speed buff. It just looks a bit slow because of our time warp, because our model has been increased. All the ogres. Alright, now we're a bit faster. So what I will do here, as you can see, usually when I stream I always do the same thing. You can see those polls especially on my Twitch. I regularly stream on Twitch. You can see all the shenanigans I do. I usually stream challenge modes. I do MOP beta currently, some heroic grinds. And yeah, don't forget to check out my stream. You will see how we do the polls. I play different specs, etc. On the bridge there is a songbird. He's doing a cast, and once he applies that cast on someone and the cast goes through, the target is in sleep mode, which is a magic effect. And I always have it in focus, so once I kill this pack here, I just target the songbird. However, what we do now is you either stay here and kill everything up to the fish and kill it, and then you go to the bridge. Or if you have big AoE damage in the group, especially with a Frost Mage, I really like to do this pull. I go here, we have a songbird now, the small adds silence you, which is really bad for a brewmaster. As you can see, the songbird is casting now, but I'm not in his side anymore. So it breaks, I heal myself, I jump down, I put down the statue, like I said, it's really important. And I go behind this bookshelf, I would say. Alright, so what we do now is, I got silent. As you can see, whenever I am silent, I'm unable to click my Jade, rushing Jade Wind, which is really important. So what I will do now is I use leg sweep to be able to get out of my silence, so I can use rushing Jade Wind. Now I clicked it, now it's up. I use my fortifying brew, of course you need some CC, some CD. Now it got the cast, and I didn't know where it was. And I wanted to use a can torrent, however, I was silenced. Someone else was able to kick it. It's really important if you do this. So to start the RP, I just decided to clash a book, or the scroll in this case, and kill off a fish. The second boss is really simple. The mechanics are basically once one target hits 10 stacks, it always gets a stack when you have active damage on it. Once it hits 10 stacks, it's immune for, I think, like 10 seconds or so. So what you want to do is, once a boss hits the bench in the corner, for example, you start using your pre-pot and you pull those boss. And as you can see, my boss frames on the top right corner, Strife gets stacks, and what we want to do is we swap our targets usually at 7 or 8 stacks. So we just swap. Someone attacked it earlier, I'm not sure really why, but usually you don't want to do that. And as you can see, whenever Strife is not getting attacked, he has a different buff, which means it also stacks and it does more damage. So that's why you want to swap as well. So the more you ignore Strife, the more damage it does. If you think, or if you notice that you get more damage as a tank in melee, just get out of melee range and then you should be fine. It's just the melee hits that give you a lot of damage. In this case, if you are a mage or any type of a DPS that benefit from multi-dotting, for procs, for example, like a Living Bomb or a Flame Shock, you do not increase the stacks by the debuff itself. It's just active attacking. Alright, so I keep up some elusive stacks for the next pull. Now we get a speed buff as well. So what we will do now, in order to spawn the third boss, you need to kill the trash. So what we will do now is something really good, and that's why I want to have a hunter in this group. So what we will do is, our healer is drinking some mana with a regenerative ember that you get from Klaxi and Red Race for reputation. It gives mana back. It's really good. So you don't have to drink actually. So we have our hunter goes through, and he uses Horn Blast, which is a toy which you get from the rare in front of Stormside Brewery. He uses Horn, and then as you can see on the party frame, probably see my cursor, right? This is deterrence, so he's immune to any attack, and this one makes the pull really easy, because not only silence those mobs, me as a tank, they also do a lot of damage and they cast. So in this case, we just wait. He got deterrence, I went in, jumped in, leg sweeped immediately. I use my gloves, I use Rushing Jadewind, I use Elusive, I use my Tiger Palm for armory, for armor I mean, and I breathed. I just kept breathing. You can see that it's quite a lot of damage, and the mage almost died. And the debuff that you can see is that they do reduce damage and they receive less healing. So as a healer, you really want to dispel this. You could have just blocked there. Get rid of his debuff. So pretty much you just do AoE damage, just kill it. And once those minions are dead, you pretty much just spawn the boss. Alright, so healer was getting some mana. I pulled with Chi Wave. You usually pull this with Chi Wave as brewmaster, so people can also see that you're about to pull the boss. Because if you use Chi Wave, you only pull the boss once it's landing on the boss, or any target in that case. You don't really have to get this build here as a tank. Like I said, the more damage you get, the more vengeance. And yeah, so on this one, it's a second phase. On this one is if you are standing too close to the boss, you're getting the knockback. So if you're playing a warrior, for example, you can go berserker stance to benefit out of it with rage. And as a tank, you can just pop diffuse magic, for example. I unfortunately missed the wave, and you can gain more vengeance that way. Alright, so this is the last phase where we have Yulon available. Pretty much he just spawns the void pools, just get out of it. It's pretty easy. Something I want to mention in the phases before of this boss, like the fire and the green phase. You've seen the fire, for example, right? The waves that come up, for example, if you are standing too close to the boss, you will get this wave and you will literally insta die. So make sure that if you're playing a range, that you are standing further away from the boss. Alright, so like I said, Yulon spawns, he just spawns the puddles on the ground, just get out of this, completely fine. We have a 7-minute mark. We got all the enemies. You can see it on top of my party frame, which is a weak aura. Alright, so we don't need them for the mob con anymore, and we have the same Mists of Doubts that we had to deal before. So what we do is we use Amber, a Rod of Amber shaping here to just encap those doubts, because we don't need them. I think they're like, yeah, they're like encap for 60 seconds, so we can just pass through. I told my team to use a Sacrifice Dagger, which is available with Throne of Thunder patch from a rare. Basically, if you just click it, it's an infinite item that you can use, and you literally just kill yourself in game. The reason why we do that is because we still have the Bloodlust debuff, like Time Warp debuff. So they just reset their Bloodlust debuff that way. He went into the card for some buff food. And I think I also sacrificed myself here, but nah, I don't think I did. So we got the healer up. I put down the statue, really important. I always, like when I do change mode as a tank, I always make a ready check so I don't have to ask when people are ready. If they accept, then they are ready for the pull. Alright, so my team is ready. I use pre-pot, I use Chi Wave, and then I taunted. So the boss is standing here. I always pull the boss either on the left side or right side, it doesn't matter. I personally just do it on the left side, but it doesn't matter. The reason why you want to pull the boss away from the center is because the boss will go to the center at some point. He is immune to any damage, and he spawns mirrors of yourself, which you have to kill in order to activate the boss once again. So what we do here is we pretty much just attack the boss, and as you can see, there's also a magic damage that randomly applies to one person. As you can see, this is Darius, our hunter. He's standing here, and you may see that he does, I think, like every 3 ticks or so, it does like an AoE damage. As you can see, it's like purple, it's like AoE damage. If you want to blast and you are a warrior and you're standing alone and you have the debuff, you can literally just go Berserker Stance, use your dev CDs and just enjoy free rage. Just let your healer know that at some point you are not able to keep up a debuff anymore, so you need a dispel. So we didn't dispel immediately because our disc priest wanted to do some damage. Unfortunately, you cannot see, because we were very fast, that the boss goes to the center and spawns the ads. But it's pretty easy. You probably have seen it in the heroic or normal mode. Really easy. So this is pretty much it. This is Jade Serpent, Temple of a Jade Serpent. There's nothing much you have to pay attention to. If you have a tank that knows what to do, if you have a healer with some mana and some people with some decent damage, it's really good. Thank you guys for watching my very first commentary. I will do a whole series for all dungeons, so don't forget to join our community Discord, which invite you can find in the YouTube description, and a follow on my YouTube channel would be much appreciated. I wish you all a good one. Until next time, a big peace.